It's a clear intention and an elevated emotion. That's the potion. Fire family, this is a beautiful day. Good to see your face. Episode 122 today. So, welcome to the astrology of the week. Let's see the chart and then just run through it. It's Mr. Mark David Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibe higher. And we're starting this video with Mercury on the ascendant. And I just think it's time to send it. So, I love you guys. Hope you like the video. The sun is in Libra at 21 degrees today. Hello. The moon is waning at 1 degree of Leo. There's like three highlights for this week. So I'm going to get the degrees. Mercury's at 11 Scorpio. You've got Libra, Venus, 0 degrees. You've got Mars in Scorpio at 15. Jupiter is in Cancer at 23. Saturn is in Pisces at 26. Uranus at 0 Gemini. You got Neptune at 0 Aries, and then Pluto 1 degree of Aquarius. So let me give you the major highlights. I'm also going to go to the degrees of next week too, so you guys can kind of see where we're going. So, excuse me, number one is we have a new moon this week. The moon is basically sitting at the last quarter square as I'm filming this, a little bit past because it's in Leo. We are going to have Mercury and Mars conjoining this week. And we also have Pluto going direct. And then, of course, you can see Venus is very fresh in her sign. There's a lot of planets right now at, 0 or 1 degrees, which is kind of cool to see, guys. It's very much a new beginning. It gives a open-ended, wandering type of energy. So I'm gonna break down those highlights a little bit in a second, but before that, let's just move the chart forward to next week. So this is October 14th to the 21st, Fire Family. So just keep that in mind. We're talking about Tuesday to Tuesday. So the sun will be at about 28 Libra. The moon will be there in Libra as well. So that's what I was saying, guys. This is the new moon. It's almost the exact chart. Really cool stuff. We have two new moons in Libra this month. This is the second one. And that's a lot of blessings. That's a lot of peace. That's a new balance. And this could be new love, new connections. We'll see. Time will tell. We will see. So, not really much is happening as far as ingress is going, guys. This week, everything does stay the same as far as the planets or the points in their signs. Okay. Like, ironically, even, well, the moon will switch to Scorpio on Tuesday, but everything else is staying in its exact sign. They'll get some degrees, give or take here and there, but it's a beautiful day, beautiful week. So blessed be your week, man. Stay positive. Did you hear what I said? It's a clear intention, it's an elevated emotion. That's really been the road on this side, Fire Family. So I just feel called to share that quantum physics is something that I've been hyper obsessing about, hyper fixating on, and just whew, you know, the blessing of the energy centers. And to tune into the quantum, the infinite possibilities. If we're going to talk about astrology, we're going to look up at the sky. I think there's nothing too woo-woo to really talk about. And that's really what I've been called to experience lately. The sun truly is going to show you what type of experiences that you're intending to have in context of your natal chart, how your personal sun works. That's what you like to do, how you like to live your life. And then when you think about the energy of the sun in transit, it really is the spirit of life. So Libra, as you guys may already know, that's the scales. It's about balance. And that's what we've all been kind of seeking in our lives as of late. I'm going to highlight the sun over there. I'm going to put it in a diamond shape for those looking at the video. There you go. Boom. Life is beautiful, and that's what Libra is here to remind us. And we are going through the change of the seasons, and that's beautiful as well. This air sign makes us more social, and life is good. And it's really interesting news as far as Libra is concerned this year, guys. I said this in the other video, but Libra kind of felt like Virgo part two when it started because if you run the chart back, of course, you'll have Venus in Virgo for the majority of this month. So she just switched over. And Libra is home for Venus, guys. You know that, right? Like she does her thing the best there. Libra Venus is natural. Because Venus also has a lot to do with how we like things or what we like, what we want, how we relate, how we connect. You know, it's also your charm. And when that just is at home, when that's natural, you know, you feel good. It's auspicious. I try my best, guys, to look at astrology on a neutral level, but you know, even embedded into the language that we use about it, Venus is considered one of those more positive planets. So this is not a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. You know, love is in the air. This is going to make beauty a higher importance for all of us for the rest of this month. We basically have about 9 more days. You can do the math, you know, and then we'll switch into Scorpio. So we have a full Libra week, but this is the last week, the last full week of Libra. So just keep that in mind also, guys, that we're running this last quarter square up into the new moon. So that's really the type of tide, type of timing that we're on. But this last quarter moon, given the Libra Venus ingress, it is really going to have a more positive and happy and peaceful glow to it. And you're going to find the shift is going to be really real from Virgo to Libra, from Virgo to Libra, because Virgo is much more internally focused and maybe even hermit-like. And then Venus in Libra is going to be way more social and open-minded and, you know, interactive. So that's cool. It's going to shake things up a little bit, you know. So basically, in that last quarter phase, as we wane, we are letting go, we're releasing, we're in the feminine energy, we're moving towards the center. And then when it comes to the new moon, the cycle restarts, then we're going to get moving forward. Okay, guys? So this is more of a week to really think about your new moon intentions. Okay. Because we have already been in release mode for about a week, you know. So it's time to think about where you want to move forward towards, what kind of seeds you want to plant in the universe, and what type of actions you intend to take to get that off the ground and running. Okay. So beautiful stuff, guys. Beautiful stuff. We actually have the sun applying to a square with Jupiter this week as well, guys. And, you know, I only really want to hit the highlights in this video because when it comes to astrology, guys, you can find a million things to obsess about. So we really just want to make it, you know, good, make it good and useful, something you can take to the bank, you know, because you can go outside and look at these things. I don't know if y'all know that. When I heard that, it kind of freaked me out. I was like, oh, for real? Yeah, you know, you can go outside. Boom, there's the sun. Boom, there's the moon. You might even see Jupiter without the telescope. It's bright. So the sun and Jupiter are going to be making a square this week. I'll even move it forward day by day so you can see it in the chart. We start at 21 and then there's 22, 23, 24. You see, that's kind of Jupiter's space this week is the 3 and the 4. So that's going to say Thursday and Friday. The square is going to be the most intense, and then it kind of wanes out over the weekend. So, you know, we do our week Tuesday to Tuesday on this series, of course, but that's really going to say the Jupiter Sun square is going to be like the whole week because on our timing, that's the middle of our week for this series. So I hope you see what I'm saying. What does that mean is really the next question. And I just say, what do you think? What do you think it means? Let me know in the comments below because this is a language. I'll give you my thoughts about it, but what do you think? And I've seen people with displacement. I don't have it personally, but there's going to be the desire to be free, to live life big. And man, that's a huge spectrum of possibilities. How's that going to play out? I mean, it really depends on your relationship with Jupiter and the sun. So what I take from it is, you know, this week has a feeling of importance, and I really like it. You know, it does inflate the ego, so that's something to think about. Jupiter on the sun, maybe a little too much. Is that the square? Time will tell what this is really going to play out like. It's like the hero's journey gets intense, and if it gets intense, it's like you either rise up and be Hercules, or you like kind of bitch out, right? Or you're like, ah, I'm overwhelmed. Let me run away. You know, Jupiter is Sagittarius energy, but also Pisces. So keep that in mind. when you're thinking about these Jupiter angles. This could be a blessed week. That's what I'm thinking. Squares kind of sometimes have a foreboding energy, but I really like to see the positive in it as well. A lesson when it comes to your ego this week about humility. And we get this Jupiter Sun cycle every year. So it is something to pay attention to. And your energy levels are something to be aware of all the time when you're thinking about your sun energy. So I know that's a little bit more out there, but so is all of astrology. So, really, number two, the only other thing that's interesting to me on the sun, besides the way that Venus is really shining through it right now, is that we have that new moon. So, that's going to be a great time to set a list of goals and to really tune into your body and get on some rhythm. So, beautiful stuff, guys. Beautiful stuff. That's my Libra TED Talk. So, let's talk about Scorpio now. And we've got Mercury and Mars and Lilith, too. Damn, isn't that crazy? I'm gonna put it back on the clock right now so it can just be the local time. Let's go. Yeah, we got Mercury. I love it too. We got Mercury and Mars on the local ascendant right now. Good stuff. So you guys know Mercury's more of the mind, Mars is more of the energy and our drive. Either way it goes, man, it's kind of intense right now with Scorpio. You guys got any Scorpio in your chart? I have Chiron in Scorpio, but that's about it. But Scorpio energy, it goes for depth. That's one thing I'm absolutely certain about it. So if I haven't said it once, I'll say it twice, man. There's an intensity that kind of colors this week as well when it comes to how we talk and communicate and perceive things. It's always got to be deeper. There's always got to be a judgment attached to it on some level. And there's this interesting curiosity that comes with this placement. Mercury Scorpio kind of coupled with a distrust. Where it's like you want to see, but then also you want to see what's behind what you're seeing or what that really means. Sometimes the Mercury Scorpio energy is very self-referential and like psychoanalytical, and you'll be questioning everything and have really intense judgments and observations. You may judge things the moment you see them, and that becomes kind of a trip. It's like obsessive thoughts. It could be dark thoughts too. So you just have to be really considerate of Scorpio, reflecting that death and rebirth energy. It doesn't play, it's not half-assed about anything. So it's very interesting, guys. I think the word is there's kind of a paradox this week. The word is paradox because the word is intensity from all this Scorpio energy, but then you've got this peace that comes from this Libra energy this week. And there's both, and it feels like I got a vision. I'm just gonna share with you guys. Sometimes a picture's worth a thousand words. I don't know what this will evoke inside of you guys, but I'll give it to y'all straight. I just saw a bird, like a vulture or something, that was like gripping onto like a wrought iron fence, but it was raining really hard, and there was like lightning in my vision. And I'm processing that as I'm telling it to you. But hey, man, psychically, magically, I think it was meant to say that we are the vulture. But I was trying to talk about Venus and Mars, Scorpio, Libra, because I get this very uplifting, like open, pleasant energy from Libra, but then that Scorpio feels like I'm being electrocuted, you know? That's how I tie that to the vision. Do y'all fuck with vultures? I think birds are a little scary to be honest, but in the moment right now, maybe it's the Venus and Libra. I feel like there's something beautiful about that bird. Or maybe I'm supposed to see it as beautiful because I'm making this video, but either way it goes, Libra Venus is really interesting. And I'm going to touch on this for a second before we go into Mars, just kind of keep it in order. But Venus has two homes, and that's Taurus and then Libra. And that even reflects how the planet works in general and how we relate to this energy. Because Venus really talks about number one, your needs and your desires, your pleasures. That's Taurus energy. And then in the seventh energy, the Libra, that's your relationships, that's your connection, that's beauty, that's your ideals, the art. And speaking of art, if you want to think about Venus energy, if you appreciate something for the sensual part of it, like music, the way it sounds, or something that smells good or tastes good, that's really appealing to the Taurus part of you. Or if you saw a painting that was really vibrant or beautiful, that's more of a Taurus energy. But if you saw a painting that, made a statement or it had an idea behind it and it appealed to the more rational air part of you, that's the Libra energy. I like it because of the statement it's making. So you also got to keep in mind that Libra is masculine, Taurus is feminine. So when Venus goes into this sign, this really has a lot about expressing beauty, having the desire to connect, it being fun to be around people when this is the type of timing right now. So we love that. And then peace, understanding is a little easier. Alternative viewpoints come more naturally. There's a harmony that radiates from Libra Venus. And we really love it, man. Hail into the goddess. Raise that energy up. Balance asks, where are you going into extremes? How can you balance? There's a grand air trine, and I really want to show you guys this because this is how we're kicking off the week. And it's a moment in space, it's a ripple in time, but I send these blessings through from the divine. The grand air trine. Do you see what I'm saying? Boom. It's the gift. That's how I read the trine. The gift of love, the gift of evolution, Pluto, and the gift of authenticity. Mm, among so many other things, taking that energy. There's a prosperous, bright, exciting energy coming through this week, guys, and I really love to see this. Things are making a lot of sense. You put the Pluto direct into this as well. We could talk about this for a hot minute, guys. And I think this also kind of goes into the Scorpio energy that we're talking about. But things are really starting to move forward, is what I'm seeing. Things are going through a good rhythm. We got Pluto switching directions. We've got these good angles in the sky. And it's just important that you keep putting in good work into your life. I had another vision, and I really think it's worth sharing with you guys. A pilot, who flies a plane, a pilot has to constantly correct their course. As you're going through your life, and you got to think about it, man. There's turbulence, there's wind. You set it in one direction, but they have to be on it. It's even, a person driving a car. You have to constantly correct your course. And that's a metaphor. You never miss an opportunity to program yourself. Every day is a opportunity to make life more interesting and to deepen your journey and to really say yes to the universe and have a mystical experience. Really cool stuff. And I think the gift, what I get from that grand air trine before I move away from it is openness. Openness is a gift, and then you experience it as a gift. But openness is something you also give. So I hope that hits somebody and uplifts somebody today because I just feel called to say it from the heart space, man. The heart space. And I learned this in school this year, man. Hearing me yap. The heart chakra, virtues and vices. Its virtue is openness, its vice is despair. And that really shook me. I mean, it makes sense intellectually, but that's why it shook me. I hope that connects to somebody also, man. But let's talk about Mars and Scorpio and wrap this full circle, guys, because that's the highlights of the week. We have everything sitting in the same signs yet again. Just understand, waning to the new moon this week. Big Libra, big Scorpio, big air trine. The sun is kind of inflated this week. Oh yeah, and then Mercury and Mars are going conjunct. This is the last thing I wanted to talk about, really, as far as major highlights. Be aware, guys, that Mercury and Mars are going conjunct this week, and that is the beginning of their cycle, and it brings those two energies together. So that's gonna again intensify the mind. Mercury has a lot to do with how you think and how you say stuff, the communications we have, and then also how we navigate and travel in this world. All right. It's intense. And then you add Mars in there, you got that shindig too, man. This could be confrontational. It could be aggressive. It could just be very intense and, maybe a destructive type of thinking. And there's value in that. I was trying to articulate this earlier. I'll say even more that creation and destruction are basically two sides of the same coin, and you need both. Scorpio, a lot of times, is concerned with that death and rebirth. So there you have it. Scorpio Mars is also home, a planet in its native sign. So you'll see at this time, things are making a lot more sense. Health is probably going to flow easier for this one because this is a regenerating energy that comes from Mars and Scorpio. Because our energy burns a little more internally, it's more self-preserving. It's optimizing. There's a lot of ways to look at it, man. There is magic that goes into Scorpio. And, sometimes you can look at it from like more of an air intellectual perspective, which I think I've been showing. But even think about how astrology pertains to your body. Scorpio is your excretory system and your reproductive system. So if you really think about those functions of the body, the visceral way it connects to our life force energy, but also the fact that we are alive, that we exist at all, and that could be a deep mystery pertaining to even the nature of our soul. This Scorpio Mars energy really does, intensify the fuck out of everything, man. Intensify the fuck out of everything. It's like, why so serious? Because it is serious, you know? And where Scorpio is concerned, the word really is power, fire family. So your relationship to power kind of sets the tone for how this placement actually affects you at this time. Are you comfortable with your power? Is your power something you're afraid of? How much of your power do you have access to? Do you exercise your power? There's a concept in witchcraft called the three rays, which I really love. And that's power, love, and wisdom. Power, love, and wisdom. And the idea is you braid these three together and you live a magical, charmed life. Right? And then also, as far as virtues versus vices, this is a balanced integration of those energies. Because, hey, if someone was afraid of their power, the question is why? They must fear it for some reason. It might not feel safe. So if you're able to use it with love plus the wisdom, hello, you see what I'm saying? So anyway, Mars and Scorpio is going to ask you to get direct, get intentional, and really embody your power, but at the same time, chase your desires or attract your desire or be that or fulfill it, I guess is a better word. You got Jupiter, Cancer, Saturn, Pisces. There's a trine right there, guys. I know I said that was basically the last thing I wanted to say, but I got a minute left that I want to share with you guys. Big blessings coming through this right now, man. If you trust the universe at this point in time, can radiate those emotions, you're gonna find things start to fall into your lap easier. And you can just attract the life you want because you've created it energetically. Like that's your software code. So that's the first thing I said in this video. That's gonna be the last thing I'm gonna say. That a coherent thought with an elevated emotion is gonna be how you manifest exactly what the fuck you want in the fastest way. And shout out to Joe Dispenza for the idea. Blessing of the Energy Centers. I want you guys to look that up on YouTube, the meditation, Blessing of the Energy Centers. I challenge you to do that shit for 30 days straight and see how your life changes. Absolutely free. And you owe it to yourself, man, to have that practice, have that experience. But anyway, I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Blessed be and blessed we. And I will see you guys on episode 123. Take it easy.